Sage Advice with Melissa is a new informative health and lifestyle show for you to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to think, work, and live more powerfully. Whether you're trying to improve your life from a mental, physical, or spiritual journey, Sage Advice with Melissa Coleman, CEO of Sage Skincare, delivers weekly advice from the best experts to provide you with insightful suggestions to allow you to thrive with a better quality of life. It's her mission to guide you through the uncharted waters of health and wellness and to give you a voice on what can help improve your life and your mental, physical, and spiritual journey. Okay, audience, here's Melissa.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sage Advice with Melissa. I am your host, Melissa Coleman, and we have the best show coming up today. I am so blessed to be here with all of, as Maddie refers to us, the Sage Babes in my office. We are here today in our last week of spirituality. We're going to be talking about spiritual alignment. So let me introduce you to Julie Scott and Charlotte Meyer, and then my honorary co-host over here, Miss Maddie King-Erger. And welcome back to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
It's been forever. We had a faux pas, I guess, earlier in the year? Or was it last year, maybe? So you didn't get to see them then. So it has been quite a while since they have been on the show. They were my first two guests when we started, which is now 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was July 8th of, you did the first show.
Mhm.
So that was of 21. So we're 2 years old now. And we're right around 22 million weekly listeners and 6 million on the TV side. So it's crazy, just crazy and amazing. And, just totally grateful for all the amazing things that we get to do here and the fabulous people we get to showcase and share. And we just have tons of fun.
That's awesome.
Yes. And hello to our YouTube audience out there. We love you attending here as well. So I'm going to share a little bit about the two of you because it's been a long time since you've been here and everybody needs to know about you. So we will start with Miss Charlotte. So passionate about bridging the mind, body, and spirit connection, Dr. Charlotte Meyer combines her knowledge of several ancient healing modalities into her holistic practice, thus enabling her to guide and encourage individuals to actively care for all aspects of their inner being. She creates a safe place for those ready to embark on their spiritual quest by helping individuals reconnect with their innate intelligence and wisdom within. As a dual board certified chiropractic physician and acupuncturist, she embraces energy as the ultimate medicine, alchemizing all necessary parts to empower every individual along their journey. Welcome, Miss Charlotte.
Thanks for having me.
Dr. Charlotte, I should say.
Wow, either way is fine.
All right, Julie, with keen intuition and deeply empathic. Okay, sorry, you need to make another correction. Julie taps into her abilities to gain insight into her own unique situation. This intuitive guidance allows her to navigate the complexities of your healing process and provide personalized support that aligns with your individual needs. Whether you are seeking relief from physical ailments, emotional distress, or a desire for personal growth and transformation, Julie's integrative approach is designed to support you holistically. Julie uses a variety of tools and modalities to assist your wellness. She is a licensed massage therapist and a certified assisted lymphatic drainage specialist if support is needed physically on your healing journey. Ladies, welcome.
Yay, thank you.
I know we're going to be talking about our favorite thing, which is spirituality and alignment and how that all goes together. I have to say, in our office, it is nonstop talk of spirituality, wellness, just everything that resonates with all of us. And I think the number one thing is just that love. Like you feel it when you walk in the office, not because it's our office, but there is
'Cause
something.
we really love each other.
Exactly. We really love each other. And it's just an amazing space to be in. I've told you all from the beginning when you first started, at the office that it is like my favorite place to be.
Oh yeah. I
By
never
far.
feel like I'm walking into work.
No.
I'm just going to my
no.
second home.
Yes.
Hands down. It's where I live with the girls during the day.
Absolutely. No, it is amazing space. So let's get started with our spiritual alignment today. So, what was that defining moment that led you down this path? You all can share or take turns, however feels good for you
Let you go.
answering.
Oh gosh, the defining moment.
I feel like that's important because I think for all of us in the spiritual world, like not that we all haven't at some point in time been on the path, but it's like there's that bang that happens that really
Catches your attention.
exactly. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It was a unfolding for a long time for me. And then it came to a point where I pretty much hit rock bottom. There's just some things going on in my life, unstable relationships, just felt like the world was kind of crumbling around me. And at the same time, all of my spiritual gifts were coming online. I was starting to become more in tune with other individuals, more empathic. And I didn't know what to do with it. And the universe always works in mysterious ways.
Always.
And it actually brought me into a community, a Reiki community, where people were talking about their spiritual journey and their evolution and their experiences going through rock bottom. And I felt like for the first time I was at home, right? I was at peace. And I didn't feel alone at that point. And that is when I knew that there was something special
Excuse me.
about spirituality.
Mhm.
It was something I couldn't ignore anymore. I had been kind of doing physical body work on individuals, right? Chiropractic and acupuncture, and realized that there was more to the story than just the physical aspects. So then I just kind of dove deeper into that. And here I am now today.
Our angel in office.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Mhm. Oh,
We're the
shit.
Rough Riders.
I don't know about that.
We all have our roles,
No,
honestly.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
right, yeah.
I like the roles that Julie gives us.
Spicy mama.
Exactly.
Mine's hard. It's hard to tell. It unfolds. There's probably, looking back, you can see moments where it started, and probably the moment it kind of started was a rock bottom for me too. Is I had done all the typical things. I went to college. I got married. I had 2 kids. Loved all of that.
It's a program.
Yeah,
program.
yeah, exactly. I was totally in the program on the hamster wheel, running my little legs off. And when I had my second kiddo, I was on maternity leave, and the company I was doing physical therapy for went under. So I didn't have a job to go back to. So there was this heated discussion, and I ended up staying home with my kiddos. And it was the first time in my life, me as a Libra, I need my validation, I need everybody to like me, I need input. And I had nothing. I had 2 tiny kids. And I was, not getting a paycheck to say I was doing worthy things. I wasn't getting performance reviews, or I was, but they weren't lovely. And I can remember I was in the kitchen washing dishes. The kids were laying down for a nap, and I just had like VH1 back when they played music, or I don't even
Yes.
know if there's a VH1 anymore.
There is.
Okay, well, they used to play music. And I heard this voice, and it was actually Chris Cornell singing with Audioslave. And it just, like, the lyrics spoke to me. It was Like a Stone was the song. And so I started listening to everything he ever wrote. And there was this song called Fell on Black Days. And it was like those song lyrics. I'd realized I really never pay attention to, like, I had feelings, but I didn't really have words to the feelings. And this song said everything I was feeling. And I was like, oh man, I may not be in a good place. I probably, oh yeah, no, I resonate with that. I resonate with that. And that just kind of started my whole kind of, ooh, well then what do I want? What do I want to be? What have I chosen? And what have I just done out of habit, tradition, belief system, ritual? And that kind of started it. And so I kind of imploded my whole life and started over, quite honestly. I ended up divorced, and I have just recreated life from there in a very, very authentic to me way. And life has never been better. It's phenomenal. And the journey continues.
Exactly.
Constantly.
Yes. And I love, you know, Julie and I have known each other quite some time now.
Yeah.
Years and years.
Uh-huh.
And you know,
Maybe
to have
decades at
seen
this
the journey. Right. I think we're definitely double digits now. You know, to see the journey has really been amazing, because, you know, we always tease that Charlotte's like the goddess.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, and we are all goddesses. We're not saying that in any way, but, you know, to really see where you were and where you are now is just been beautiful. And just even the growth that we've all had, just even in the last few years of working together now, it's been just divine and amazing.
I feel like it's been fast tracked. Now
Very,
that we're all together
Oh,
in the last couple of years, I feel like we're at warp speed at this point. We're like, what's happening? What's going? But just keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Yes,
This is awesome.
yes.
I feel like I was a very different person when I first interacted with either of you.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to
Yes.
now. So
Yes.
thank you.
You
both.
didn't trust in the process that you were going to end up with us.
I knew. I knew. It was weird how it happened, but it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Yes. Well, let's find out a little bit more about what you're doing. So, how does your offering service contribute to or impact health and wellness? Because you have that traditional side of work that you do, but, you know, you bring so much of the spirituality and holistic approach to it. So, how does that look in a day of Julie and Charlotte?
For me, it kind of started, you know, I had the physical therapy background and I went to massage therapy school. And it kind of started there 15 years ago, where I started seeing people for massage therapy, and massage therapy school introduced me to some spiritual ideas that my little science brain was like, I don't know about that. We'll see. You know, I'm always curious. I don't rule anything out. But as I started working with people and their bodies and thinking about what I'd learned about Louise Hay and emotions stored in different parts of the body, and started seeing patterns with people I was working with, I started realizing to really heal somebody, you have to address kind of all the parts, whether it's me addressing it with them or me sending them somewhere to get, you know, something I see addressed. It's really about addressing not only the physical body really is just the language to tell us what's going on in our lives. And so I think we both kind of do an interpretive dance of like, oh, here's what's going on in your body. How does that register with you? It's very individual to each person, really. Only they know. We just help kind of bring that out in them. So that's how it started and how it's going for me.
Yeah. So as I alluded to, right, most of my practice started off very physical. So realigning the body, working on biomechanics. And then, you know, acupuncture has a little bit of spirituality into it, right? There's energy meridians. So basically kind of opening the door to that spiritual bridge for people, kind of bringing them into that space. And then, you know, it started to evolve. When I first met Julie, she was such a great mentor. We were always talking about the mind-body connection. And I pulled a lot of my psychology background into my current work. And I was like, how do I connect these two? And so, she would talk to me about energy work. And then I dove into Reiki and just trying to understand how that all comes together. And then one day it just clicked that people are not just a physical being or a spiritual being, right? Or an emotional being. They are all of them. And in order for people to achieve or to kind of work through their optimal health and wellness on their life path, they have to understand and appreciate all of them.
Mhm.
So that's kind of just where we've been working, and it's been lovely.
So fun.
It's been
Mhm.
lovely.
It's so fun. It just teaches us about ourselves too.
That as well.
Every day.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
You're like, oh, why is this person? I've had three of the same clients that came in with the same issues. Well, why do I have to evaluate with myself? You know,
Right.
it's a beautiful dance.
Yeah.
Right. And can we touch on that, with what you said, what is showing up for us is an aspect of us. So can we delve a little deeper into that, just for people that are maybe just starting down this path and not fully aware of what is showing up in their worlds? Because, so many of us are like, look at just the external,
Right.
And
the world's happening to us,
not
is
for
what,
us.
and it actually is happening for us.
Yes. So let's go down that path a little.
That the world is our mirror, really, and I offer that out to anybody to just play with that idea that whatever is showing up in your life on repeat is something you need to pay attention to inside yourself. It's really not about the outside world. So why is it that one person can drive and never have road rage? They're just like, the people are crazy today, but then the other person who gets in the car can drive the same path with the same experience and everybody's out to kill them.
Right.
Is it about the people externally, or is it about what's going on internally in your world? And so when we're working with people, a lot of times for myself, if I'm going through something, I feel like the universe gives me little hints where, of several patients will kind of come in and talk about the same thing. And you just pay attention and you go, how would that apply to my life? There's a beautiful kind of energetic healing, like by working on yourself, you're helping others in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Others working on themselves is helping heal you. Like it's this big interconnectedness. So the interconnectedness is taking those cues from the outside world. And I always say it's the things that repeat. Like you can't sit there and go, well, why did this one thing happen? If it's one thing, but if somebody's told you something several times, go, why is that showing up? Why is this in my movie? I'm the main character here.
Right.
What do I need to do? So I think that's,
Yeah, it's everything that is going on internally manifests externally. And that's how the universe teaches us, right? That's how we learn in this world. That's how we start to comprehend the life lessons that we came here for.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it shifts your perspective when you start to see everyone as your teacher or your guide. You have more compassion for that person, even if it's a challenging conversation or situation. You start to see that from, maybe there's something here that I'm learning, that I'm processing, that I'm evolving through. And you start to see that everyone is here for your evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all here for each other's evolution. We're all holding space for one another. And it's just a beautiful process. Julie mentioned this. I love when I can see people in my office and I'm like, yep, I'm working through that right now. Like that's exactly what I'm working through. And I tell people that, right? I let them know that we're on the same path. We're here for each other. And it almost kind of brings more empowerment to their lives, and they start to see that in their everyday. So it's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What about you, Miss Maddie? Because I feel like your brain's working over here and you have not interjected yet.
To speak on the spiritual journey, to speak on
Just anything. Is anything
On anything.
because you work with people too
Mhm.
on the physical side and yoga, and how does that look for you?
Well, I was thinking earlier when you both were sharing your experiences with the sort of unfolding of your spiritual awakening. And then I was thinking about my own spiritual awakening. And like, I almost didn't notice that I had a spiritual awakening because I feel like I'm relatively young, but I'm a deeply spiritual person.
Mhm.
But like I think I can trace it back again to like a sort of rock bottom. Like my family sent me to rehab right out of high school. Like right away, I was just like, what is this existence? I'm so mad. And I was resisting absolutely everything around me that was trying to reel me in, pull me to like connection and something otherworldly. But it didn't really truly start to evolve for me until I went to yoga teacher training. Yoga did it for me. Um, I think I was a bit traumatized by the Catholic Church, at least my experience of the Catholic Church, and so I kind of swore off anything that seemed religious, quote unquote religious. I don't know what that means, but the way that they phrase things in my yoga classes, it didn't feel like how it did in Catholicism.
Mhm.
It talked a lot about nature, and I could relate to nature as a grand power. I was like, yeah. And then the idea of like the universe being like this father figure in contrast to nature as the mother that's holding you and guiding you all along the way. And that was transformative to me. And then I found myself in situations where I was healing other people, and I was like, whoa, did I do that? It's like, that's insane. And even just recently, I've called back more of a regular meditation practice into my life, and I was meditating, and the message was just like, babe, you're a healer. Like, go heal, go do mass, like go heal more people you're supposed to, and you don't need to know what you're getting into. You just need to show up.
Mhm.
Because I feel like you all know, like coming into your gifts, like you could have or could not have learned the modalities that you learned, but you still would have ended up healing people because it just comes through you. The spirit comes through you and
Mhm.
guides you to
Absolutely.
do what you're doing. Like these modalities for sure are helping you, but you could just sit with a person and just be
Mhm.
moving intuitively around. And I think all of this is just to say that everybody's experience with awakening is different and each one is valid no matter how it looks. So even if like you're like, oh, that didn't happen to me, but then maybe you resonate a little bit more with Charlotte or with I or whatever, every single experience is valid. And I just invite you to keep investigating in an explorative, non judgmental spirit.
Absolutely. I just want to remind everybody, if you're just now joining us, you're listening to Sage Advice with Melissa. I am your host, Melissa Coleman. We are here today with all the girlies from my office talking about spiritual alignment. And I think what Maddie was saying is the perfect segue into our next question, because it is, what does spiritual wellness mean to the two of you, given the capacity in which you work and share, and how does that look in your world?
I think for me, spiritual wellness has a lot to do with authentic living. Um, my thoughts on the matter, just listening to Maddie and each of us and our like kind of entry in,
Mm-hmm.
not one of us came into it the same way.
No.
And none of us have the same gifts, talents, or abilities.
Mm-mm.
So it's really about being authentic to you. So many of us are kind of stuck in the what life needs to look like, how the path needs to look. Mine started with music. Mine
Mhm.
still is connecting to music and being outside as much as possible in any capacity I can.
Mhm.
So just that really honoring authenticity to start down that wellness path. So for me, wellness is not only working with Charlotte, so I'm aligned. She helps me interpret what's going on in my body energetically, emotionally, and physically. Wellness is being mindful of how I'm eating. There's the typical known wellness things. Being mindful that when I have too much sugar, I'm going to be in pain.
Right.
I'm going to lay on the floor and writhe. It's a lovely thing. But wellness is also knowing when I'm just feeling low on energy and what I need. Sometimes I need to lay down. Sometimes I need to meditate. Sometimes I go for a motorcycle ride. Sometimes I go for a canoe paddle, or as we were saying before, sometimes I'm just a diva in a canoe being paddled around by my lovely partner, staring at the sky and the trees. It's knowing what your connection to spirit really is. And it comes through. I always say it's like cogs on a wheel. There's not just one. It's not just nutrition. It's not just exercise. It's what feeds your soul, what you're taking in through your eyes, through your ears, in your environment. It is this whole process, and what brings out your ability to connect to your gifts. That's true wellness to me. And then once you're well and you can put your gifts into the world, which, it's not, I think also the misconception is, oh, the healers are the wellness people. Shoot, no. Like, I think about our friend Ari, who has an amazing skill set of how do you structure a business and how do you write procedures and policies? That's her wellness, is connecting to that gift and talent. And everybody has this piece to play in the world. It's about finding your piece and living in it. So to me, that's true wellness.
And I think it includes, the circle that you build around you as far as your people, because that's equally important, in your wellness and your journey, and, having that support that we all need, even if you think you're a loner. It is not designed to be that way.
No, it is not.
And it makes the path so much harder. And
you need those mirrors in your life. You need the people who will reflect the good and the bad back to you. Not that there's good and bad, quite honestly, just the difficult lessons and the easy love lessons.
Yes. So believe it or not, it is break time. So if you two can each share, we'll come back and let Charlotte share about what the wellness journey looks like for her, how everybody gets a hold of you and finds out what's going on in your world.
Okay. You can go to my website, which has many errors on it right now, so don't read too closely. You can either go to searchlightsoulhealing.com or juliescottwellness.com, or and those have my phone numbers and email addresses to reach out and contact me.
You can reach me through my website. It's just drcharlottestl.com. That's the easiest way to find all of my contact info and how to reach me.
All right, everyone. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
If you're looking for a new informative health and lifestyle show to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to think, work, and live more powerfully, then you need to listen to Sage Advice with Melissa. Now, whether you're trying to improve your life from a mental, physical, or spiritual journey, Sage Advice with Melissa Coleman, CEO of Sage Skincare, delivers weekly advice from industry experts to provide you with insightful suggestions to allow you to thrive with a better quality of life. Melissa's mission? To guide you through the uncharted waters of health and wellness and to give you a voice to help improve your life. So be sure to tune in to Melissa. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, listeners, saying thanks to your customers is nice and polite, but expressing your gratitude in memorable and ongoing ways can boost your business, At Promo Experts LLC, we exceed our customers' expectations. For over 20 years, our product knowledge and experience has helped them with their marketing initiatives and trade show graphics. We are happy to put that experience to work for you. Quality products, great customer service, and prices are our number one priority. We work with you to find unique, creative, and new ideas that fit your image and expectations, helping you build strong relationships with your customers. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture. For more information about this exciting opportunity, contact Diane Carson, President, at 636-458-5241. That's 636-458-5241. Let Promo Experts help you to move your business brand beyond the bland.
Is your business struggling with getting found online? Are you having a hard time finding a marketing company that you can trust? Look no further than Vivial. At Vivial, we are experts at helping connect buyers to consumers by our innovative marketing strategies with proven methods that help businesses connect to their target demographic. For a free consultation, call Anthony today at 314-437-1906. That's 314-437-1906.
Have you always wanted to write your own book but don't know where to start? Publishing Concepts, a publishing company located right here in St. Louis, offers everything from consulting, book printing, copyrights, ISBNs and barcodes, print book layout, ebook and iBook layout, graphic design, cover design, ghostwriting, typing and editing, distribution, marketing, and more for an affordable price. Visit publishingconceptsllc.com or just Google Publishing Concepts to get started today, or call 314-781-8880. That's 314-781-8880. Publishing Concepts. We help you sell more books.
All right, everyone, welcome back to part 2 of Sage Advice with Melissa. We are here today on our last day of our month of spirituality, talking about spiritual alignment with the fabulous women in my office, Julie Scott, Charlotte Meyer, and my honorary co-host, Maddie, to my left. And we left, and Julie was sharing about what spiritual wellness means to her. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Miss Charlotte, and let you share what that looks like in your world for you.
Yeah, I love what both of you have said so far, because we get into our heads sometimes when we think about what spirituality is, what wellness is. We think it has to look a certain way or be a certain way. And then you realize, no, it doesn't. It is really individualized. It's really what lights you up. It's what brings you the most joy. And so for me, it is, you mentioned this, Melissa, it's about having your community. For me, that's my most important piece to my wellness, having beautiful mirrors all around me to reflect back, to help me work through things, and just staying in that kind of energy, and just noticing what the world is bringing my way. I do a lot of other things for my well-being. I see Miss Julie here. I
see both of them.
We all see each other.
Yeah.
We take care of each other.
I essentially have a whole team of healers on my support staff. It's what I call them, because people always ask me, what do you do for your health and well-being? I'm like, yeah, I go see my chiropractor, I get acupuncture, I get massage, right? And then I do a lot of my own inner work. So I spend time, journaling, out in nature, movement practices, whatever that looks like. I like to do a lot of cacao. I just got into sound healing. So I'll just sit in my home and play the crystal sound bowls and just connect to the energy. So yeah, it's different for everybody. It doesn't have to look the same.
Yes. But it is different for everybody. But what are some of those core practices that are good for all of us? Because there are some fundamental things that I would say most of us do to one degree or another. And what are some of those suggestions you would have?
The very first thing that comes to mind that I think we've all mentioned and we're working on, Melissa, is being outside. Nature is a healer. It's free. go put your toes in the grass or the mud.
So of all the girlies, I am not the best about the grassy areas. I like the water.
Water's good too, though.
Yes.
Water's very
No,
healing.
it's like to the point. I tried to take Melissa to Qigong.
That's what I'm
outside.
thinking about too.
I
She's like,
took-
that was mud.
Yes, I took her to Qigong, which is so fun. It's definitely like the hippies in the park
It is fun.
that are like making arm motions at the trees. Like that's Qigong for you. And obviously you take off your shoes so that you can connect with the ground. And like, you know, our instructor Sheila, who
it
was on
mushy
before,
the first day.
it was not mushy.
It was mushy.
Maybe slightly damp. And Melissa and I returned back to the office. It's like, wasn't it so great? And the ground was kind of
And it was
cool.
great. It really was.
And
great.
she was like, go into the bathroom. I go, where are you going? She's like, I'm gonna go wash my feet off. I go, what?
Mhm.
What are you doing? No, you don't wash that beautiful dirt off. That is good for you. And she's like, ugh.
But again, this speaks to the point we're speaking of how it looks so different.
Yes.
She prefers to be by. There's something in nature that is for everyone.
Mhm.
I'm barefoot all the time
Yes.
to the dismay of my
Yeah.
partner. He's like, it's wet outside. And I'm like, that's awesome.
I wanna
trekking
feel
through the
it.
grass and the dirt. You prefer water. You're everywhere in nature.
everywhere.
So if I could say if there's one commonality, it's getting outside. The sun gives us vitamin D. Everybody needs it.
Yes.
Sorry, everybody needs
Conducting
it.
electromagnetic energy.
Oh yeah,
from the
there's been
ground to the
science studies
sun.
from that. So
Yeah, actually, earthing or grounding can help build up your magnetic fields, which can strengthen your aura. So very important. But also not just the sun, but the moon, right? Getting out and just staring at the moon can help women regulate their cycles, become more in tune with the earth. So it's all beautiful stuff.
Clearly, I need to be out in the grass more.
Yes.
Let's go walking. later.
Coming
Yes.
full circle,
Yes.
I think one of the most beautiful experiences of nature is like, of course, taking it in and being in awe of it, but then realizing that you yourself are nature, and it can help you to appreciate you.
Mhm.
Like, for example, when I started honoring my body and being grateful for my body for the capabilities that it has, firing all the time, doing different things. And the same thing with nature, and realizing like all of that nature is inside of you as well. And so you're just kind of allowing yourself to align with that nature and appreciate yourself as such.
And
Mhm.
nature always wins. That is one of the things
Mhm.
I keep in the back of my head.
Mhm.
So you can fight it all you want, but it's better to live in harmony with it within your body,
Yes.
within your world. We
It'll settle the weather down. This-
there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason.
I love
we're
a
so heated.
dramatic Mother
Because it's so
Nature.
we're so heated right
Well,
now.
and I think it slows
you know?
us down too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is the time of year if you're living in alignment, you're not going to run outside. I mean, some people are, and it's good for them. Like, I can't say again, but jogging in this weather,
Mhm.
even people who I know who like to run are like, this is miserable. This might be the natural cycle saying, take a little bit of pause, walk,
Mhm.
move more slowly, dog days of summer.
Yeah.
You can change your activity with the time of year.
Mhm.
I
You know.
love it. I love how Mother Nature is the ultimate cat herder.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's like, this
yeah.
is my rodeo, baby.
Exactly. Slow it down.
So true. So true. So, what tools and modalities, we've kind of talked about them, but let's go a little deeper, do you use within a session with your clients? Because not every session is the same, not every client has the same needs. So, what are, go a little deeper about the lymphatic drainage, what
Oh,
you do,
geez.
Charlotte?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is individualized care because every person's needs are different in the moment. Sometimes from visit to visit, it changes. But I kind of like to explore with the person what they're open to. Some people are still kind of on the fence about diving into their spirituality. Some people are afraid that it might bring up emotions that are uncomfortable and they don't really want to deal with them right now because they've got a lot of other things going on in their life. So they kind of just put things on pause, right? And they're like, oh, I just want to get my spine aligned today, right? And so you're like, okay, you kind of just meet people where they are. But it ranges from adjustments to muscle testing to acupuncture, cupping. Sometimes we're just honestly talking. It's just about having that space for people to express themselves and what's going on. Sometimes there's energy work, and other times it's really just about being silent. So sometimes people just want that space to be quiet too. So it really does vary. And one thing that I always try to encourage people to do is journal. It's how you start to learn the most about yourself and what's going on. And so just keeping kind of a record of your mental state and allowing yourself to flow freely. A lot of people feel restricted in that way for some whatever reason that is. I don't know if that's society or whatnot, but just giving people the opportunity to understand themselves, because most people don't give themselves that opportunity.
I think we're taught really, although they say it's okay to express yourself, I think we are so taught not to like fully express ourselves. I feel like just people that I interact with and have talked with, really hold so much inside, including myself. I mean, because stop. What? Some of us are designed to maintain a lot, though. So just saying, it's in
Not Julie and I.
it's in my human design. The girls are waiting for me to cry in my Cheerios, which will probably never happen. But
We're getting there.
Never say never.
It's an office goal.
Never say never.
It's an
it's an
office
office
goal.
goal.
It's to get Melissa to cry.
But I really do feel like we are kind of, just with how we've talked before, just with like our men, they're taught not to express when they're hurt. Anger, yes, because we expect that, but like when they do feel what they feel, and it's not correct in society to have these emotions. So I like what you said about the journaling piece, because it does really help, and I do that, just so you know.
I know you do.
We know you do that. Can you do it in the grass and mud?
I could if it's dry. And
What is
and I
what
have a
is
towel.
that about? What is
The
that?
dry?
Yes.
I don't like the mushiness.
I love the mushiness.
I
Although
love
I
it.
love mud. Like I
Wait,
will walk
what?
around in mud. Like a mud thing.
Oh, interesting.
I like that.
Mud bath is on our
Maybe
agenda.
it's
Okay.
texture.
Let's do that for her
maybe
birthday.
Maybe it's the
Mhm.
texture. But there is something about being just in mushy wet grass that just
Like one thing or the other.
yeah, I know. I got
We're
weirdness.
diving.
Is that a Virgo thing?
It could be. You never know.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a Virgo thing.
Uh-huh.
That's giving Virgo.
That is giving Virgo.
It's giving Virgo. You don't know how wet it's gonna be. Like it's out of your control. But with the mud, you know.
Exactly. But I do like the
It
feel.
could be different at
but-
any
but
step.
I
This
do
could be
like
dry,
the
this could be
feel of
slightly
it.
damp.
I do.
Yeah.
Because even when I was little, we'd play in the mud. Like the
Mhm.
mud never bothered me. There was something about just
Mush.
mushy, wet grass that wasn't like muddy, but it was just, I don't
Feels
know.
very Virgo.
Just anyway,
Love it.
another show.
You need a 4-hour show.
right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about you two, a little bit more deeply about.
Wait, do you want to
Yeah.
talk about Jules's
Oh,
modalities?
yes.
Oh.
Sorry, we skipped that.
I'm like,
I
what's
want
doing?
to
I'm
talk
like-
about your modalities.
Oh yes,
Nice.
Julie has yes.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's modalities are fabulous, but
I have a new
Yeah.
one that's interesting.
yes,
But
which is really good.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. So the newest modality I added was assisted lymphatic drainage, which is there's a machine that was kind of reworked and redeveloped by Dr. Jennifer Grameth in Georgia, and it's called the XP2, and it's transmission heads that stimulate with low current electricity basically, and it does not hurt, it's fine. Y'all have experienced it. It's so calming and comfortable, but it actually stimulates the lymphatic system to drain more quickly than just regular manual lymph drainage can. So one treatment with that is like 8 to 10 lymphatic massages. That's one modality I use. But how I get to that, people come in looking for usually an answer to a physical ailment. And I had started in massage, but now I think one of my biggest tools is the question, how's your body feeling today? Because I agree with you. From week to week, it will change depending on what is going on in your life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually.
Absolutely.
And so we kind of listen to what's going on in your body today. And then there's a lot of energy and intuitive work that goes into that. I went back and got a couple of coaching certifications because I felt like I really wanted the tools to help people kind of coach people through, not tell them what to do because it's very individualized, but just kind of bring out what's going on with them, where their blocks. I can kind of see what their highest self looks like, and I kind of just help them connect dots. So I use massage, I use energy work, I've used lymphatic drainage, coaching, all of it plays a role, but the combination of what it looks like depends on every person that comes through. There is no one size fits all treatment program
no.
ever.
No.
I wanna bring up something about both of you as healers, which I think this really kind of speaks on what I was saying when the spirit comes through. Because we just talked about like their modalities, so like what's happening very much so in this physical realm. But I've had sessions with both of you where you have seen beyond this realm. And that information that you relay back to me is so helpful to my healing journey, and I think is what makes you exceptional as healing guides and practitioners. Like Julie has literally been like, I was like, "Do you see anything in there?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's a bunch of white stuff in your ribs, and then there was something blue, and I just went and I plucked it out." And I was like, "I don't know why, but that's so gratifying." And then when I was with Dr. Charlotte, she told me that she literally saw like my inner child and like had like a little play session, and wow, like it's just so empowering to be taken into that other dimension. Sometimes I have visions, but not all the time. So just to kind of hear like your connection, because we each have our different connections, whether it's you see things, you hear things, but when we come together, we sort of get more of a full picture when we, we're mirroring one another and sharing this part of the puzzle. So if you're trying to figure out your puzzle, come see these ladies.
Absolutely, because they are fabulous. Because we've had equally amazing sessions. We've had parties in Julie's office.
Dude, I don't know who all was there, but they just shoved us out of the way, put her into a coma, put me into La La Land. We both wake up.
No, there is wild things going on in our offices for sure. It is kind of
People are
crazy.
so concerned.
I know. Yeah. And we should share, because Anthony, my husband, who also works in the office with us, and he refers to us as the witches, and he gets scared when we're all together.
So he sees us all speaking in the kitchen. He just looks at us and goes to his office.
Like, what is happening, and should I be worried?
That's true.
So let's chat a little bit about the two of you, and how this comes into your space, in your personal space. So how do you remain grounded while working on your spirituality? Because we're all works in progress, and everybody's doing their own thing, as we've shared in the first half of the show. So how does that look for you? Because you're taking in so much in a day with your clients that are coming in, so share about how that is for you two, navigating that.
For me, it's going to Dr. Charlotte and her reminding me, what have you done for yourself? It's having that team of care practitioners that will remind you how to connect when you forget. Because sometimes when you're looking at yourself, that's why that community and team is so important. It's like looking at yourself with your nose pressed up against a mirror. Sometimes it gets really hard, especially if you're taking on energy from working with all the people. you can get a little, I mean, it's like
Mhm.
energetic hygiene. You have to go get cleared out. So Charlotte definitely helps me with that.
Mhm.
And then it goes back to what you were saying happened during your session with Charlotte. And something that we've talked about recently is sometimes when you're looking for that connection to kind of like reground and clear, and you're like, what is that? Go back to your childhood. What was fun? What did it look like? So for me, my childhood was playing outside with animals. It's bizarre things. It's
Talking with animals.
yes, yes, yes. I'm getting comfortable with saying that out loud. Commune with the animals. I can feel the animals like I can feel the people. I can feel their emotions if they're happy, if they're in pain. So it's like going back to that. It was like happy memories of, I mean, it's crazy. Like spirituality is so crazy awesome, you guys. It's the times I've spent with my dad working on cars and handing him tools in the garage, and then going to car shows and just loving cars. And now I have a fabulous vehicle, and I have a couple of motorcycles, and I like working on them, and I love riding them. It's just that connection that just like takes you back to that happy point in childhood for me. And then we hiked a lot, and we had a field behind our house, and we walked by the creek. So it's like connecting to all those things, going back outside for me, and just regrounding in who I am so I can clear out the clutter that's everything else in the world. Because you get the news and the people and the negativity, and sometimes you just have to shut it all down, step away and clear it.
And remember your own power,
The what? Yes. Yes.
because you know your own power.
Yeah. And again, it's music for me too. Music
Yeah.
will always be, it has healed me again. That's another thing. Like, don't think for me, my wellness is like, oh, I haven't been to the gym, and I haven't done this. And Charlotte's been on me to like, hey, does it have to look like that? Like, what does it look like for you? And I just recently went to a concert, and I was exhausted and thinking, oh, I need to really reserve my energy because I got to ride a motorcycle 8 hours back home. And I should be, and I can't. I was at Foo Fighters, and I danced my full head off for 2 hours. And I have neck issues. That's a whole nother episode. But I woke up the next morning and they're gone. Like just dancing and moving my body in joyous, fun ways helps me clear the physical, emotional, energetic, move energy. Like that's what spirituality looks like for me. Dancing at a concert. Writing.
Or in the office.
We've
Yes.
done that.
Yes.
We dance in the office. Yeah, dance wherever. My goal is like one song a day at my house. Usually turns into 20 minutes.
Yes.
Getting outside, all the things that feed your soul help clear you, help move energy. So
Yeah, I love all of those things. And one thing that was coming to mind was, for me, it's remembering that I am a soul having a human experience. And I have to remember that I am here now in this meat suit, in this body.
Love that. You said that too.
I always
The
call
meat
the meat
suit.
The meat suit. And and so it's like remembering that this is the physical form that I am caring for, that I am steward of. I have a wonderful partner and a sweet little doggy that like keep me grounded at the end of the day and just remind me that all of the love that I'm sharing is right there in my home with me. So they are huge to my grounding. And then like everything else Julie said, but just remembering that, we are just here having this experience. We don't have to stay up in the woo-woo worlds, right?
No.
Right.
No.
So
Because we're in both.
we're in both.
we're allowed to enjoy this earthly life, whatever that looks like for you.
Yes.
So
Oh, that's beautifully said. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's see. We already talked about that. So how do you well, I guess we've kind of really touched on how you practice your own spirituality, what you do.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
We can dive into anything.
well, I guess, because we're coming up on the end of the show, let's kind of have each of you share like a profound story that you've experienced with a client, because I think people really resonate with the stories. And what has been something that has been profound for you as the person helping, as well as the client that was receiving, that just had maybe that groundbreaking moment.
And I think it's helpful because we were talking about how like the body holds different things. If you could give like an example within that story of like what was coming up in their body, and like what does that indicate from your wise wisdom?
Go for it.
Gosh, every day is like a miracle. So the one thing that's coming to mind right now is just some of the work that I've been doing with women that are attempting to get pregnant, that have been having struggles with infertility. And most of the time when they first start with me, there's almost like an underlying resistance to motherhood. They may not see it or realize it, but there's a little bit of resistance there, and it's coming from mostly a fear of their childhood, what they experienced. A lot of times that'll show up as like tension, upper back, shoulders, sometimes like sacral pain. But the other thing is they're also holding on to this idea that how they get pregnant has to look a certain way. So same kind of thing. So we work through that, and it depends on the person. Sometimes it takes several visits, but then the moment comes and they send me a message and they tell me they're pregnant. Right. I just had one recently tell me she's pregnant with twins. So
You're doing good work, Cheryl.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's really just allowing and holding the space for them to understand that they are kind of clearing out the clutter so that their soul children can arrive. And it doesn't have to be on a timeline that they expect. So that's kind of the magic, and that happens. And usually a lot of their body stuff kind of shifts as well as they, do get pregnant. So it's just a fun experience, and I'm really enjoying that.
Awesome. Very quickly, because we're down to our last few minutes, Julie.
Oh gosh.
I know. It goes
It's-
so quick.
So I, just thinking of how we do healing is with her, like a lot of the pregnancy stuff is coming up. For my clients, it's a lot of life transition stuff in older life. Not that I'm older, but just, what shows up in your body and what it's trying to tell you, the blocks that keep you from being. I've had people coming in with like pain in their knees is a thing that's been recent for me, which is kind of a stubbornness. But what I've realized when you start connecting to people, the stubbornness is sometimes like an unwillingness to accept help. I have to do it myself. And that is a repeat pattern for me. I know, but
We
it's
all
come
have that.
up
We all have it.
and with so many of my clients now, and it's just in my face. So that's the beauty of healing. That's profound to me. I keep on getting this reoccurring thing with my clients about accepting help, accepting community, being vulnerable. And I love what their body's telling me about it and what it's telling me about me. So that's how it is for me.
I love that. I know. Ladies, really super quick. They do super quick their website? No.
1 minute.
1 minute. So
JulieScottWellness.com.
DrCharlotteSTL.com.
all right, ladies, it is always a pleasure having you here. You will no doubt be back. As we like to leave you, health is a state of mind, wellness is a state of being. Be good, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Stop acting like the ex I never had.